There's a saying that I think many people are familiar with and have heard many times. Preach the gospel at all times, and if necessary, use words. While many would attribute this quote to St. Francis of Assisi, even though there is no evidence to support this, there is still a lot that can be understood and misinterpreted from this saying. Many find inspiration from this saying in order to go out and evangelize, or be that lamp on a lampstand. This is indeed a good thing, especially among young people. I know for many preparing for confirmation, many of those finding confirmation name choose Francis because he's that guy that likes animals and had that one quote. Nevertheless, in whatever way we need inspiration, there is a need to evangelize and show our faith through the works that we do. There seems to be a tendency among some people to do good works for the sake of good works. Helping the poor, feeding the hungry, and clothing the naked are good and noble acts, but do we do them to feel good and to show some sort of superiority over them? No, this is not why we do these things. We do these because we are informed by our faith to do these works. Caritas Christi urgit nos. The love of Christ compels us to do these things for the love of Christ. It is out of love for Christ that we help the poor. It is out of love for Christ that we feed the hungry. It is out of love for Christ that we clothe the naked. Since we are to see Christ in others who are poor, hungry, and naked, we can then know the love that Christ has for us. This exchange of love of us to Christ and Christ to us is the foundation of our relationship. This is not only the way in which we can grow in our relationship with Christ, but also we can grow in relationship with each other. We need to constantly learn about our faith and engage in the spiritual life. With prayer, study, and works, we can not only help ourselves grow in holiness, but also help others to grow in holiness as well. We are the salt of the earth. If we were to grow in holiness by growing in our relationship with Christ, our holiness will be our flavor. Because it says in the gospel, if salt loses its taste, with what can it be seasoned? This shows the importance of faith in our lives, and that our faith is like light that shines in the darkness. This is what our first reading tells us, that those who feed the hungry and clothe the naked will be a light to those in darkness. We then hear also in the gospel that our light should not be kept under a bushel basket, but kept on a lampstand. Our faith is that light, and our works are that lampstand. So we must begin to interiorize our faith in order for our faith to take hold of our life. St. Paul in our second reading to the Corinthians says, I resolved to know nothing while I was with you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. We must turn our lives to Christ and have our faith be the driving force in our lives. Again, this can only happen when we enter into that relationship with Christ. When we are baptized, even confirmed, we are charged with the spreading of the gospel message of Jesus Christ to the world. And how can this all be done? I'll tell you. There's a quote attributed to St. Francis of Assisi that can sum all this up. Preach the gospel at all times, and if necessary, use words. We have to remember, though, not to take something as simple as this for granted. Actions do speak louder than words, but words are sometimes necessary. This is why we must know our faith. This is why we must have prayer at the center of our lives. If we plan on helping others in their faith, to help others to pray, to grow and to flourish, we ourselves must grow ourselves because we cannot give what we do not have. We should ask God to help us to be that light in darkness, and we should put that light of faith on a lampstand for all to see.